Hola, buenas. ¿Qué tal? Hi, good afternoon, how are you? Welcome to Really Understandable Spanish. I'm Pete, and this session is an overview, a simplification of the Spanish verb tenses. If you've seen some of my sessions before and you really need to, before you get to here, then we started on the present tense of Spanish verbs. We've done that so that you get a basic grounding in how you make a verb work. So we used cantar, and we talked about using the stem, and the stem of cantar is cant. Take off the infinitive and add the ending. And I'm going to just walk through these for you because my experience with many classes and people is that it can be very confusing because it all sounds very different and sounds very new and all the rest of it. So I'm going to explain it to you, I hope straightforwardly, so that you get an overview of what these things are all about. Okay, so we've covered some of that. Please watch those first 2/3 videos on the present tense and how you form it. So, if we use cantar in English, we can think about how we actually in English also use lots of tenses in much the same way as the Spanish do. So don't think about it as being totally different. The way they put them together is different. So if we started off here in the present, as I said, if I use I as the subject, then I sing is canto. So it's the stem plus o. You sing, cantas. You see, we've done that. Go back and find the present tense, regular and irregular, 2 sessions of the actual endings that we want. So we've had a look at that. We've also, in the last but one session, had a look at how you can actually talk about the gerundive. The gerund is a fancy name for it. That's the ing. So if I want to say I am singing, I use estar and go through the conjugation of that. So estoy cantando. So I add ando. So I sing is canto. I am singing. Estoy cantando. So we've done that one too. Okay. We also have done a session on the really quite strange verb. It's an auxiliary verb, haber, because I wanted to give you the chance to get used to using I, there is or there are, and había, there were, there was and there were. And it's also an auxiliary way to say, and we've started into the past, one of the past tenses. So in English, we might say, I have sung. And I've shown you on that session how to do it with haber, which is has, a, hemos, habéis, han. Right? Has, a, hemos, habéis, han. Okay? And you add the stem, again, can't, and this time you put ado on the end. So, he cantado is I have sung. So that's one way of doing the past. So there's the present, there's the happening now, the ing. There's the I have sung, I have done whatever. We also say in English, and they do too in Spanish, you might say, I sang once. Do you know, I sang with a choir. Okay, well if you want to do that, that is called the perfect past. In Spanish, it's the pretérito, etc., etc. Don't worry about the Spanish words for it. It's the perfect. It happened. It happened. I broke a window. Can't do it twice. It's just happened. I sang with a professional choir because we're using cantar. If you want to do that, then that is a verb tense on its own. And again, it uses the stem. And for I sang, it's e. So canté. Don't worry about all that yet. We're going to come to these things. So we've got I sing, canto. I am singing, estoy cantando. I have sung, he cantado. I sang once. What if you want to say, I used to sing? Yeah, we say that too. I used to sing with the choir, since we're using canto. So, all we do there is find the stem again. Yeah. And we used to sing is cantaba. Excuse me, that's a mistake. Me being stupid. Putting it together. So the ending for an AR verb is cantaba. So cantaba is cantaba con un coro. I used to sing with the choir. So there we have, I sing, I am singing, I have sung, I sang with an implication of once, and I used to sing. And we can look at the future and say, well, okay, what if I want to say I will sing? So the future tense is actually sort of easier still, because all of this has got to find the stem, and the future tense, the plain future tense, actually is just the infinitive. That's really useful. And you then put on the ending. And the normal ending, don't worry about it now, we're just explaining the whole thing, is e, as, a, amos, ais, am. Okay? So don't worry about that yet. But it's very simple. So I will sing is, we have to put this back, and it's cantaré. Cantaré. Cantarás. Cantará. Cantaremos, cantaréis, cantarán. Don't worry about it. We're going to do that. The other way, and it's one of the main reasons to give you this overview, is that there is actually a way to say, I am going to sing. And for somebody learning, that's a really simple way. So the way that you do that is to use the verb ir, I-R. Not going to go into detail at the moment. Use the verb ir. And that's a weird, slightly weird, irregular verb. So to say I'm going, yeah, to do something, you use ir and you put a, and that is to. So if I want to say I am going to sing, I just say, okay, let me quickly get rid of this bit, and I'll just give you a quick hint into it, and we'll do a session on it on here anyway. So the conjugation is, look, it's ear. That shows you just how irregular it is, but it's used obviously all the time. So it's voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. So all I would do is say, well, I is there, I, you, he, she, or it, we, you, they. I am going to sing, voy a cantar. Ta-da! I could say, Voy a comprar. Comprar. What do you think comprar is? Not really any hints there. It's an infinitive. Comprar is to buy. So if, as English say, I'm going shopping, the Spanish say, voy a comprar. I'm going shopping. I go to shop. Very simple way of saying things to people. And if you're going around Spain and wondering about things and you're trying to ask for something, I say, it's a really simple way to actually use the verb and use the future, even if it's not the future. Yeah? So if we said, vamos a Madrid, that means we go to Madrid. So ir in itself is very, very useful, very, very common. And when you do it this way and add a verb after it, it means the future of. Yeah. Voy a hacer la tarea. Voy a hacer la tarea. I'm going to do my revision. Whatever. So that process, all of that process there, lays out for you the indicative verb system. Why do I say indicative? Don't worry. There's also subjunctive. We have that in English too. That's would and should and could, and we'll worry about that a lot later on. You can get away with that for a long, long time. But we're in a situation now where we need to start to look at talking about the past a little and talking about the future a little. And those ways are the ways that we're going to do it. And you can see there's a real commonality there, isn't there? It's estoy plus stem, stem plus the ending. Estoy plus stem plus ando for an AR verb. If it's an ER verb, an IR verb, we've done that one, look at that session, then it's iendo, endo. Stem plus O for AR verb. Stem plus aba for used to. Stem plus e, if it's I, for once, sang once. E plus the stem, e I have from haber, plus the stem, plus ado for an AR verb, or ido, if it's an ER verb. So that maps out the whole of the verb thing, and it's really very logical. Yes, you've got to learn it, but there's a lot of it you just put the endings on. You just change the endings. And then there's the future, and there's the infinitive rather than the stem of the verb, the whole verb. So I will go is, to go is ir. So there's the infinitive, put e on the end because it's I. We've not done that yet, don't expect you to know that. Iré, I will go, iré, in the future. And also this very, very useful way of talking about the future. Voy a comprar, voy a hacer cosas, voy a cocinar. I'm going to cook. Cocinar is to cook. So it's just the infinitive with voy or vas or va or vamos or vais or van. Hopefully that will, what you need to do with this is go through this short session and get it fixed in your mind how we do the past, present and the future. And those are the alternatives, and you can decide which one you like, because as long as you pronounce them properly, wide-mouthed frog, not wide-mouthed frog, smile on your face, yeah, as long as you pronounce those properly, then each of those you can use. The Spanish will understand that or that, that or that. They'll understand that or that. They don't mind. And when we come back through these things and continue with them, I'll give you the way that the Spanish prefer to do these things. So just as a hint into that, this is the gerundive, as I said. This is am singing. So if a Spaniard says to me, ¿qué haces? ¿Qué haces is what are you doing? Hacer, remember? Hago, haces. ¿Qué is what? What are you doing? I can say, estoy leyendo, from leer. Just so that you understand some of the ways the Spanish do things differently as well. Leer is to read. So I've taken that off and put the endo on the end. You have to have a Y because otherwise it doesn't work. Estoy leyendo. Or, what the Spanish would do is just say, I read. That's it. So this is very useful, particularly for English people, because we do the ing thing all the time. And actually the Spanish don't use it that much. It's great for you to know it because it's very familiar. My son is going to university. Yeah, that's a typical thing, yeah? My son is studying mathematics at university. No, he's not. He's sat over there. See what I mean? It's not wrong, but I want to get you into this system, and then we can look at how you use the easiest ones, which is the way that the Spanish use. But you have to know the basic systems, okay? Please spend some time and have a look at how this breaks down. By all means, go on to other sites on YouTube, because other people will have that. This is the way I always do it, and it works. It lays it out for you quite simply, I think. So please spend some time having a look at it. And next time, we'll carry on with some more of these. Okay, thanks.